Well, good morning, everyone. Good morning, good morning. Welcome to NFP Wednesday. I don't understand why, but it is. I'm glad you're here. If you're here for the first time, welcome. My name is Tyler. It's going to be a good day today. Welcome. We're going to go ahead, open in prayer here in a second. We'll let a few more people jump on the stream. I know a lot of people like to be a part of the opening prayer, so we'll wait a minute because I am early. Isn't that nice? I am early. So we'll take a look at the market, see what's going on, and see what we got for opportunities. I am excited for today. Actually, I got on maybe even prematurely. Let me finish what I was doing. Give me a thumbs up. Let me know that you can hear me okay. I want to make sure that it is audible. You can hear me okay. Okay, good. Yeah, so we hit this previous day high, and we started this slow slide, and I'm like, man, I just want to just get in short and just let it fall, but I think that's premature. So we're going to wait and be patient. We're going to wait for a sweep of liquidity. That's really what we're going to wait for, is a sweep of liquidity. I already have a premature level marked. This is 8 a.m., 8:56. I want to see this swept by the 9 a.m. candle. Before I even look at taking a short, I want to see this level swept. And then if we start displacing lower, that is what I'm going to be looking for as far as confirmation for a short. I guess not confirmation, but anything before that, I'm going to treat as manipulation to come back up. And it sounds like some people have already made some money. Great. Yesterday we had a great trading day. First trade was break even. Second trade was a 70-point trade, and the second trade was a 50-point trade, 50 or 60. It's great. We had a good trading day yesterday. Yeah, it is a double break day. Sometimes when you get those double break days, all in the morning, it leaves the opportunity for it to spiral lower. Okay, so we see it ran here and there, only to, my guess is to come back down. That's kind of what internally I'm feeling. We will do the opening prayer here shortly. Get started. All right, let's go ahead, open in prayer. Father, we just honor you this morning. Father, thank you for your goodness and faithfulness. Lord, thank you that you are here with us. Lord, I pray for everyone a part of this stream and those that are joining. Lord, that you would bless the work of their hands. Lord, that you would be with them, be with us as we trade today. Lord, I pray that we would not be taken up by selfish ambition, by vain conceit, Father, but we would trade and do your will as you have it for us today. Father, I pray that we'd be patient, that we would be wise in our dealings. Lord, I thank you that you are with us, and it is you that gives us the ability to produce wealth. So we give you all the glory, honor, and praise, and thank you in advance, Lord. We honor you. In Jesus' name. And everyone said, amen. I'm going to get some music here. My computer shut down, so I have to reopen everything. From India, welcome from India. Glad that you're here. Okay, sorry, I'm just getting things finalized and set up here. We're going to take a look at the market here. Let me know that the music is okay as far as volume. All right. Okay, so we got about 12 minutes before the market opens. I'm going to shrink my face here. I know you guys like looking at my face, but we're going to shrink it so we can see the charts. Let's start by going to the daily time frame and mark our daily highs and lows. We've already ran our previous day high and low on NQ. Take a look at ES. I don't think we have yet. No, we have not on ES. So what do I expect? I expect us to go back up there. I mean, that's just inevitable. I think that's what's going to happen. You can see how we left it here. Yeah, we could call that an SMT, but I don't think that's going to stay. This is too shallow of a run for a daily. What we're probably going to get is something deeper if we're going to come back down this way. I don't know if we're going to come back down this way. I would love for us to come back down this way because we got a lot of runway over here. Meaning, if I want to target these levels down here, this low resistance liquidity, these swing lows, getting in here is less attractive compared to getting in up here, obviously. But what I'm trying to say is that the runway is a lot larger, so it's more forgiving. If you get in up here and are wrong, you can find out sooner. You get in down here and you're wrong, you could get burned pretty bad. So I really like the runway potential to go lower. I'm not sure if that's going to happen because if we go to the daily time frame, we are yesterday was a red day. We swept the high. Yesterday we actually took the trade to the high. Literally, I probably was a few handles off the high, but we took the trade for 70 handles to the high yesterday. It was a great trade. It was honestly the only trade of the day that was you could have taken that was actually legit. So because of that, we also have this daily fair value gap that we've come back down and tagged. This is technically now an inversion, daily inversion fair value gap. So a daily IFVG. We could find support here and move higher. I'm not abundantly clear on the direction. I'll be honest with you. I'm not abundantly clear. If you look to the left right here, see this candle right here? When we drop down to the 4-hour, you're going to see a breaker. I've seen this stuff so much that I know this will be a breaker. So if we go to the 4-hour, you're going to see this right here. Low, high, low, higher high. We broke below it, and now we're coming back up into it right here. So technically, we're on a higher time frame breaker right now. Do I think that's going to hold us lower? I don't know. I'm just noting it. So if we do move lower after we sweep this high again, I'm not opposed to taking it if we want to go lower. We do have some more space up here that we could really fill, to be honest with you. There's some large imbalances right here. We filled this 4-hour, but we have another 4-hour right here that's just not filled that we might want to reach up into. I don't know. If we go down to the hourly, it's going to look a little bit better as well. High, low, higher, high. See all this? I'll reuse a breaker when it comes back up to it. So you can see this area right here is what I'm referring to as the breaker. We do have reason and liquidity above that we could run into. So the biggest one right here is the hourly. There's an hourly fair value gap that is just untagged. So we should probably put that on there just so we have it. It's a very large imbalance, okay? And we could still reach this and still be inside this breaker area that I've been referring to. We have an imbalance right here. This is a new week opening gap. Did I remove that? I removed that new week opening gap. We probably need to put that back on there because I think that's going to be some significance here. All right, let's see where that is. So that new week opening gap is sitting right here, right around the new week opening gap low. So we got overlapping new week opening gaps. That's fine. We did tag this 15-minute right here. If we start moving higher here, it wouldn't surprise me. The hourly will be another 35 minutes from now. Yeah, we dropped right here. on that 15-minute candle. So there would be a breaker right here, most likely, to the upside. Is that worth taking towards that hourly level that I want swept? It looks like we're going to get an inversion right here. Got 5 minutes till the market opens. Let's mark our Asia low and Asia high or excuse me, London low, London high are done with. So we don't need to mark those. What we can mark is our opening range gap. Do we usually fill a hourly fair value gap? It's not usually. Sometimes we do, sometimes we don't. Yeah, I'm interested in another pump higher. Almost. I'm honestly, Ted, I don't think I'm interested in it today. It could absolutely work, and it could be a beautiful move. But I'm interested in this sweep of liquidity before that happens. And if it runs up here right off the open, me knowing that this is sitting here would bother me if I take a loss. So I'm not interested in it. Unless we get that sweep beforehand, but that's like 3 minutes away. So we'll wait and pass on that for this morning, at least for me. Yeah, and yeah, just because of the direction, it is not in our interest at this point, in my opinion, to take 930. I think it would be more of a gamble. For me, 930 would be more of a gamble if I took it. Let's shrink that. I hate looking at just a big yellow box. So we'll shrink it. All right, previous day high on ES was hit though. We do have a sweep of liquidity on ES right now. Okay. What kind of contracts? Okay. Micros or minis? And is this a personal account or is this a eval account or a prop firm account? Personal. If you want to, I would probably say 3,000 to 5,000. And that's still being aggressive. All right, so 11 seconds here. Here's a tap of the breaker, the bullish breaker. I'm not doing anything on this open. All right, this is what I wanted to see. I'm bias-wise, I'm neither bullish or bearish at the moment. I really just don't know. I mean, you could say bullish because of what we're doing pre-market, but I've seen markets where we go like this and then we just come all the way back down in the AM session. So I'm not holding my breath here. I really did want to see this though. I mean, we could reach up to here too. That's only 50 points away, so it's not very far. But I got my sweep of liquidity as far as my first criteria. If I'm going to take a short, I got that criteria right here. Christian trading. Yeah, that's what you could call it. It's trading, just done by people who love Jesus. To the 4-hour highs. Well, that's what I said. London highs right here. It's only 50 points away. But this is enough for it to turn around. It's not only an hourly sweep, but it is a 4-hour sweep as well. Because it's a daily high that we have right here. So we swept a daily high. So it could easily reverse right here. We also swept the daily low. So when you do that pre-market or so early in the trading day, I've seen prices either just explode higher or completely reverse. It's still 50-50 for me. We have a lot of runway down here and a large opening range gap that if we get a nice little breaker right here, if we get a nice little breaker right here, that breaker here is still playing out. But if the bullish breaker, but if we get a bearish breaker right here, I'm just marking both of them so you can see what I'm talking about. I'm not opposed to take it because that's what I was looking for, and we have a large runway to the downside. There's fair value gap on the left. We have a fair value gap there. Let's see if we get another one here. I do want to be careful not to prematurely take a short because, I mean, it is just pumping higher. And I don't know if this is manipulation. I do know that we swept the daily high and we have an hourly sweep here. So I like this direction if it can confirm it for me. Yeah, 932 candles, our first presented fair value gap. Yeah, that would have been 50 points right there. These are large candles. So no need to go heavy. You can go light and still get a decent setup here. All right, so now I'm just looking for a retest at this point. I'm open with a retest of some kind, somewhere in this vicinity here. If it reaches up to the first presented fair value gap, then great. Somewhere around here is what I'm interested in. That was the retest. I had a fluke that happened there. I don't even know what happened. All right, I'm taking this. All right, I'm targeting the data low. I think that's aggressive, but we'll see. I didn't. My first order that I tried to enter, it was when it was a full green candle, but I didn't have automatic entries, and I had to confirm the order, and so for like 10 seconds, I'm like, what just happened? So I got out of it, and then I re-entered, and that's where my entry was. So I don't have the best position. I am down, or not down. I mean, I think I lost roughly 30-40 points as a result of it. %50 of the opening range gap is here and the midpoint. That's going to be our first test to see if we can get all the way to there. I need to see this close below this green candle. Making a lower low. Honestly, I think a good place to take profit is on this swing low. Right here. I'm deciding if I want to sell there. And then see if I get another opportunity for that short, to be honest with you. I'm just not happy with the position that I got. If we inverse this fair value gap, I'm going to exit the position. I need to put a tighter stop loss because I think there's going to be potential push up here. I'm going to just get out of break even there. I'm going to wait for it to give me another shot here. I'm a little irritated I didn't get the position I wanted. I wanted this position right there. And I would still be in the green. My low would have been 70 points. Except I didn't get that. I got in. It was there. So just a really poor position. I'm not going to take this on the first presentation of it. I'm going to look to see if it wants to reach up into this the first presented fair value gap right there and see if it respects it. I want to make sure I'm on side. I'll be right back, folks. I do have to use the restroom. Oh, well, nice rejection of that first presented fair value gap, don't you think? I like that rejection. It's technically not a change in state of delivery. Do you got any more news that's going to happen today? Not really. Five minutes going to close here. Price action right here is not looking very good. So there's no reason I'm getting in too quickly. There's a lot of runway down here, guys. There's a lot of room here. That's 170 points. I just need to get 70 points of it. So I'll let it clear what it wants to do in here, and then I'll look at finding an entry to that direction. Okay, we have this change in state of delivery on the 1 minute. That's not a significant deal, but it is just worth noting. I think the 5 minute change in state of the 5 minute inversion right here is probably a good level to pay attention to. I think we're on side. I think we are this way, but we're just kind of doing this thing right now. What looked good here does not look good here at the moment. If I did get in a position right here, that would have been nice, but I wasn't here. And then I can hold through this, but I'm not going to get in down here when I know that we've done this consolidating retracements. Right? You get in a position here, your stop loss is only 30 handles at the high before the whole idea would be invalid. So down here, you're looking at 100 handles. It's just not something I want to do, or 60 handles. It's 80% AMS right now. They change it so often I can't keep up with when they change it. So I apologize, but whenever they're doing the 90% off sale, that's what the code will give. When it's doing 80% off right now, it will do 80% off. I don't use a moving average, Walter. Not right now, because I'm not in a trade. I'm just waiting. This is why... One thing I was thinking yesterday, Ryan, was how many trades that you took. Because of how many trades you took, I think that is what's emotionally exhausting for you. I would limit it. I would reduce the number of trades or add additional confirmation so that you reduce... No, I don't. Not at all. Does this get exhausting? How is this exhausting? You mean like live streaming in front of people? Very rarely do I go, oh, I have to live stream. I actually look forward to it. I mean, I'm going to do this anyway. I might as well do it with people that I enjoy being around or people that want to be a part of it. You know what I'm saying? Appreciate it, Tex. Yeah, we need the displacement. At this point, I'm interested in, while I was sitting here, I'm thinking, well, what's going to happen at 10 o'clock? Because at 10 o'clock, we're going to have a 4-hour candle close. Okay? We're going to have a 4-hour candle close. Are we going to come back up and sweep that? What are we going to do? I don't know. And that has me interested. Oh, well, there's our drop. Whoops. A little sweep of these lows. That's really what I wanted initially when I was in that trade before we did that. I might miss this whole move, folks. I might miss this whole move. Not to chase, not to try to make something happen here. And that's just... It didn't perform like I wanted it right here. I thought that it could go up. I didn't like the position I got. And so I got out at break even. So I'm sitting at zeros right now. I'd rather have zeros than have taken a potential loss right here. Way to go, High Rod. Way to go, BC. Nice. Good trade. I'm glad you didn't get out. I'm glad you got the better entry, to be honest. If I had that entry, I wouldn't have gotten out. I didn't have a position I liked. Keep an eye on that low. There's a good chance that's the low we're going to hit. I may, if we retag this, the midpoint right here, I might use that as an entry. Just see if we want to, at 10 o'clock, run to this low. I'll let you know if I do it. Obviously, you'll see if I take it or not. I would have preferred this candle to do it on the first half of the 1 minute candle, so that it has another 30 seconds to come back down here. But if it closes green, I'm not going to do it. All right, here's 10 o'clock. The hourly, we have an hourly fair value gap right here. That, in my opinion, if I think it's going to do something, I think it's going to do this. Run all this and then potentially close around here. That's how I would see that. Or it could just wick into here. That doesn't seem probable, and then move higher. We do have a breaker right here, but we're already deep inside of it. From a 4-hour perspective, that is not a convincing bullish candle at all. We swept the highs. I like the idea of moving lower. We have Friday's midpoint way down here. I just need to find a logical entry point that I feel will work for my position. We did not run this lower part, this lower fair value gap. Sorry, I got like this cloudiness in my eye. I really want to take any of these legs higher, but I'm not convinced on them. I'm hesitant right now. So it's better for me to just sit on my hands, be hesitant if I'm hesitant. This is what I wanted to see. I'm just not. I'm trigger shy right now. I mean, the strategy's right there. I mean, did it exactly what I wanted it to that breaker. So this is a breaker right here. And then it's dropping. I've just been trigger shy right now. I don't know about big speed yet, Ted. If it wants to reverse without hitting the data low, this is where it'd be. I mean, I hope it run. If you're in a position, I hope it runs. ES is almost at that low, but it doesn't really have a data low. very much. I usually like when that wick is larger on the candle. It's very small in this candle too. They're not the most attractive. Yeah, I missed the trade because I was trigger shy. We had the right idea, right analysis. I had a little glitch on my trade of 8, which put in, for whatever reason, asked me for confirmation for the order, and by the time I selected it, the candle that wicked higher into the breaker was already down 40 points, and that's where I took it. I just, that kind of made me a little disappointed. How much is the latency, Alan? If it's under 8 seconds, there's nothing that we can do. If it's more than that, it's not my signal, because I have 83 kilobits per second is my signal, which is 8300 is super high. I get smooth sailing, if anything, 5000 and above. If it's under 8 seconds, it's just the latency that YouTube has for live streaming. That's why I'll try to point out what I'm looking at before I actually take the trade, so that you can execute on your own. But there's not really much we can do about that. ES has ran its data low for how small it is. I'm assuming you're talking to other people, not just me, because I am hardwired in, and I am pushing as fast as I can. All right, so NQ is hitting the data low right now. or just about. Or 8 seconds ago. Take care, Mary. Have a blessed day. Glad you're here. My initial target has been ran from my initial entry. Boy, oh boy, would that have been a good one, I tell you what. 379 would have been my entry. To the target, 150 points. Now, remember what I said at the beginning? When you see the market run a previous day low and then a previous day high prior to the market opening, or right around when the market opens, anticipate it to come back all the way down. That's what we did today. Just trigger shy. Trigger shy. Yeah, we're on March. NQH 2026. I entered at 322. Oh, my initial entry I wanted was 25, right around here, 25.10, 25.410, 25.416, somewhere in this candle at 936. Somewhere in that wick is where I wanted to enter. Yeah, I execute on MNQ. That's the black screen. And then all my analysis is on the minis, because the minis are where the volume is at. And so when you see liquidity swept on the minis, you get out of your position even if the micros did not sweep. It doesn't happen very often, but it can. All right, see how we're just dropping? It's just messing with it. It's just messing with me. Just messing with me now. All right, so this data low, here's how I could replay this. Is I think at some point we could come back up to here to continue our move. That's how I want to treat this. It might not be till 11 o'clock. And I don't know if I want to try to chase. I'm not going to try to chase this. I'm definitely feeling FOMO. Definitely disappointed with my execution today. The good news is I'm at zero. I haven't lost any money. That is the I guess that could be the icing on the cake for me. I'm disappointed, but I'm at break even. I don't have a loss. Thank you, Carrie. I mean, I didn't have to exit my position. I didn't have to exit my position. But I also didn't like my position of where I was at. So I was right that we retraced, but I went to the restroom and came back and I missed my second entry on the rejection of the first presented fair value gap. I could say I got out emotionally. I didn't let the trade play out, but I just didn't like my position. So, did I break any rules? Not per se, but I did make an emotional decision to get out of the position because I didn't like how low I was and felt like we could go back higher. Seems to happen when you gotta be. Yeah, true. True. Now we just gotta give time for structure to form. If you look at the 15-minute chart, we need to let this candle close. We need it to come back up. I mean, if I was looking at something, it would probably be right around where this 5-minute fair value gap is, of wanting it to come back up to this level to see a continuation lower. I would not look at the data low. I look at this inversion right here. I don't know why I have that level. What is that level? I don't even know what that level is. Oh, that's the hourly. Yeah, that's an hourly fair value gap. So we completely inverse that hourly. A retest of that, I'm not opposed to. So we let this close, and then it comes back up, and look at something like that. It may not even reach that high. So we just got to pay attention. Wherever 50% is, that's kind of probably what I'd be looking at. So 50% right now is just above the hourly. So if we run lower, maybe towards the low end of the new week opening gap right here, that would make this 50%. If we run lower than that, it could be somewhere around there. But I would use my 50% level for retracement on where I'd want to potentially get in at, since I missed the move. I'm just being honest with you guys. I'm a little disappointed, because that would have been a nice trade. No, they just constantly change the 90 and 80% off that I don't get a chance to update. It's a lot of work to update what's on my screen, to be honest with you. And so it's not 90% off right now. It's 80% off. So I apologize. We're going to keep track of this 15-minute fair value gap right here and see how we interact with that at level. Yeah, I could do that. All right, so we just tagged that 15-minute fair value gap. My guess is this is where we're going to find some support, unless there is a lower 1 minute, because there wasn't a 5-minute lower. Unless there's an obvious 1 minute. Let's look. No, there is not a 1 minute that is lower. So this is where I'm going to guess we're going to find support for a minute. I don't know. Maybe we just keep sipping through it, slipping. But you see how we tagged it right there? If it gives me an aggressive inversion to the upside, I'll take it to this high. That's 50 points. I am going to prematurely take this. And I could be wrong. And it looks like I am. I shouldn't have prematurely taken that. Yeah, I got stopped out. I prematurely took that. I shouldn't have done that. Yeah. I can tell how I'm feeling is affecting the decision that I just made. I am going to log out of that. I just logged out of my fund. I'm not gonna trade my funded accounts today. I'm gonna just be on my small personal account. Less risk for me to do that than to take trades on my funded account in this position. 18 months, Dennis. No, I don't have any. Surprisingly, Apex hasn't gotten back to me. I should reach out to them again. I said I was going to reach out to them. I did, but they never got back to me. What's up, all set? Bitcoin. Is that what it did? All right, 1 minute. ES has a 15-minute right here. This is pretty important to see if we close above that 15-minute. Same with this level right here. I'm not opposed to playing the retracement here if I can get this inversion. I think we might. But I'm not doing it on my funded accounts. Way to go, Walter. I like that. All right, it's 5 seconds. Let's see if it closes above or below. You guys already know because we're 8 seconds behind. All right, it closed below. I wanted to see it find support there. What that can mean is that we can go lower, but it doesn't mean we can't get the retracement we're still looking for. I feel like I could be more consistent, but thank you. I appreciate it. Hey, Jesus. No, it's not my primary source at this point. It covers quite a bit of bills, but it has not replaced my income. I get income from all kinds of different sources. I have real estate income. I have online income, affiliate income, course income. But for the longest time, real estate has been my primary. All right, so we have a 931 fair value gap. So this is the 1030 model. Excuse me, 1031 fair value gap. And it could coincide with a inversion to the upside, which would be nice. We'll see if it gives it to us. So I would not take the entry on the inversion. I would wait for this to be tagged and then I'll take it. Which means if it doesn't come back down here, I miss the trade. We wait for the close. We don't take it here. There is a volume imbalance right here. We need to include that. All right, I'm going to take this long right here. Oh, I'm sorry. It's not on the screen. Is it on the screen? No, it's not. First target is the swing high. going to take profit there for one contract, move my stop to break even for the remaining contract. The reason I did that is in case it doesn't want to take this high and we want to maintain this lower high narrative, high, low, lower high, lower low, and just kind of start consolidating. I want to take a position off there. So this was the 1030 model that I had. I'm not going to lie, I got a bunch of flack from comments, people saying that the 1030 model doesn't work, that it's a joke. We just got 50 points. All right, so that's why I did that. So my second contract got stopped out at break even. I always take market orders. Look at that. A retest of it. Nice little wick lower. Yeah, this should push. I think this should still push higher here. We have some imbalances above that I think we can probably go for. We have a breaker right here, so this technically is still an entry for a breaker long. Right there. It does look really good. Yeah, we'll do the devotional once we hit 75 likes. What are we at? I can't tell. I don't know why I can't see it. There it is. Oh yeah, no, it's not there. Oh, we are. There we go. 75 likes. Yeah, that looked nice. We took it off the 1030 model. You could have taken it off of the inversion model. You could have taken it off the breaker. So all three of my models were present for this trade. Ah! And what's interesting is, what did we fill? We filled the daily inversion fair value gap. Violated the 15-minute, but then we have that swing high that we just ran right there. That was my initial target that I sold early on. Thanks, BC. Yeah, that was, I mean, for my personal account, that was nice. Just slowly increasing that balance. I started this account with $500 on my personal account. Let it sit there for the longest time because I couldn't figure out how to trade a very small cash account. It's definitely a different psychology. And I don't know what clicked. Honestly, I don't. It just started working. So I've grown that personal account to just under $5,000. We're at 4722 is what we are at right now. But $100. What is that? What is that account growth? 47. No, is that 46 at the point? Divided by 100. No, that's not how you do it. Whoops. 4,600 by 100. I'm doing the math wrong. 100 divided by 4,600. Yeah, that's an increase of 2%. So I grew my account by 2%. That's typically what people would say is outstanding returns. For the day. I would say a majority of them are AMS. I tend to believe the best in most people. I am skeptical, but I want to give the people benefit of the doubt. Because online, there's just a persona online that you just get. I mean, no matter how transparent I am with you guys, there's always this perspective on the other side of the screen that it's one way when it's different. So no matter how much transparency somebody gives you, on the other side of the screen, it's always going to look greener. It's going to look better, or you're going to be more skeptic about a scenario. But if I get an opportunity to watch a trader and they show me live execution, I can tell you if they're profitable or not. 9 times out of 10. So we're coming up to that previous day low. This is probably going to be some point of resistance. It is that breaker I'm referring to, but I want it to move higher above this and dig more into this. Remember, I have this this 50% level. It's sitting right here. That's really what I'm wanting it to reach up to. If we can get up here and it shows resistance, I will look for another leg lower. It's also, look what it conveniently is overlapping with. The first fair value gap in this price leg higher. Okay, that's significant. That's significant. So this is a key level in my book. Let's look at the 15-minute. What does the 15-minute overlap with? So the 15-minute, there's a 15-minute fair value gap sitting right here. That 15-minute fair value gap is actually goes down to that down close candle because there's a volume imbalance right there. Do you see that volume imbalance? So extend that 15-minute fair value gap and then boom, that's inside the 15-minute fair value gap as well. If we jump up to the hourly, that's sitting beneath the hourly fair value gap, okay? And then from a 4-hour perspective, we just got too much time on this candle. I'm on Tradevate. On Tradevate, that's all I needed. You can trade with as little as 400. But I think to an open account, you might have to have an initial balance of 500 or something like that. It's been a while since I've checked. I'm looking back at my execution here. It's a green trade, but I left $100 on the table on my personal account. Because I only sold one contract, it came all the way back down and stopped me out. So I'm looking at, could I have done it differently? When I take profit, I always move my stop to break even as a principle, because if I'm making money, I don't want to end up losing money against it. So that's why I move my stop to break even. But we respected this inversion. I mean, after the candle, it's obvious. So maybe I should have just waited for the candle to close instead of letting the wick. Do you see what I mean? How the wicks do so much damage. I'm questioning now if I move my stop to break even, but I keep it lower and I watch for the wick. If the wick hits my break even point, I stay in it. I wait for that candle to close. If that candle closes below it, then I get out of the position. I definitely would risk more. But I can't tell you how many times wicks just will take you out of trades and prevent you from, I mean, that could have been another $100, but if it went to this high, that probably could have been another $200. That could have been a $300 move with just 2 micros. So, just some things to think about on my end. Not necessarily all set. I mean, I've just seen it happen too many times where these wicks will get you out. Especially on these retracements, you will get these aggressive moves lower that just disappear. Because remember, everybody is looking at this, thinking sell, sell, sell. So as soon as you get an aggressive candle, what happens? You get more sellers entering the market, and then it just eats those up to go higher. It's trader psychology. If you are thinking this, you're going short right here on this aggressive move lower, and then what does it do? It just eats up those orders and to go longer. It's selling you. They're buying those things to go higher against you. That happens a lot, especially on these quick retracement moves. Now, I wouldn't look at it that way. I would look at this more consolidation. And that's kind of what I'm anticipating. Is after a big move like we got, after a big move, we're going to get some type of consolidation. Whether it's lower, moving like this, or moving like this, higher. I don't know yet. Continuation short present is not. It's not present. I don't think it is. I think you're mistaken. And the reason I say that is I just know after a big move like this, you're going to get a period of consolidation. So even if it looks like this, my guess is we're going to get a failure swing right here. It's going to make a higher low and then move higher. Maybe staying inside of this daily inversion fair value gap for a period of time. But it's very common that we get something like this, it starts going like this, and people think it's just going to continue. And that it just doesn't, the market doesn't trade like that. It's just not like that. Very rarely will it just do this, especially on the 1 minute time frame. Yeah, on the 15, on the 30, sure. But what happens on those 15 and 30 minute time frames? You get this. So that's where I'm thinking, before I do anything to go short, I want it to reach 50%. That is what I'm looking for. It lines up with my breaker. It lines up with the inversion fair value gap inside the breaker. There's overlapping confluences right there. That's what I'm interested in. And then even if I take a position here, I'm looking at it trading back into the consolidation. I would not be trying to trade to this low as of right now. Maybe I could hold it long term, maybe for an hour or two, and maybe it reaches this level. But more than likely, it's going to come back into this range and consolidate. So if it comes up here, I can get 20, 30, 40, 50 handles and then just call it good. Because from top to bottom, I mean, that's 200 points. I don't need that to get a good trade. Just give me 50 points. Give me 50, baby. Just give me 50. Give me 50. That's all I need. Give me 50. See how close we are? We're in the 11 a.m. macro at the moment. I do not take trades on, I will not take a 15-minute breaker to the downside when it tags it. I'll use it as a additional confluence. So now that we hit it, I need to see evidence or my model on the 1 minute, 2, 3, or 4 minute time frame. 5 minute would be fine as well. Because on the 15-minute time frame, there's just too much time where it could just continue to push higher. All right, 50% right there. Everything that I wanted as far as where price would go. Now, I don't take a short here. That's just foolish. I'm waiting to see how price reacts. Do we just blow through it, or do we find resistance here? I mean, I hope this just drops 30 points right here, because I want to prove to you the importance of the 50% level. I don't think enough people use it in their analysis. Just watch. I'm convinced. I'll be right back. Yeah, I mean, the 1 hour inversion's right there, but the hourly hasn't closed yet. The hourly hasn't closed yet. It's closing in 3 minutes. Remember how I mentioned that it wouldn't surprise me if the hourly wicks all the way down here and then comes up and closes inside of this or above it? We're pretty stinking close to that, aren't we? We are, hey, I forgot. We need to do our daily affirmation. All right, we'll do our daily affirmation after the 11 o'clock hour here in a second in case we get something. Actually, I'm not going to take any shorts here. I need more structure. I'm not just going to take a V-shaped drop. So why don't we do our daily affirmation right now? Give me a second and we will do it. Today's affirmation is going to be based on James chapter 4, verse 17. James chapter 4, verse 17. That affirmation, or the verse is basically saying, if you know what you're supposed to do but don't do it, that's called sin. It's called sin. If you know what you're supposed to do but don't do it, that's sin. That is sin for you. Okay, so if the Lord told you you need to obey and give to a homeless person and you don't do it, that's sin. That's crazy. Isn't that crazy? That you personally could be in sin and another person not on the exact same thing. Here is our affirmation for today. Today, I act on what I know is right. I do not delay obedience or ignore conviction. When God reveals truth, I respond with courage and discipline, knowing inaction is not an option. James chapter 4, verse 17. What has God told you to do that you're not doing? Now, we are not supposed to be our own Holy Spirit. The Holy Spirit will convict us. There's so many things that we could grow in and mature in. So the way I would approach this is, as I read this scripture, does anything like jump out at me in my spirit? Am I being disobedient in an area that just rises to the surface that becomes obvious to me? That is how I allow the Holy Spirit to lead me. I'm not going to try to conceive it. I might meditate on this and ask the Lord sincerely, Lord, open my eyes to see on areas that I'm not in obedience to you, but I'm not trying to make something out of nothing. So maybe it's for you. Maybe something is not for you. So that is our affirmation today. I pray that it blesses you and draws you closer to the Lord. And I just pray that you'd follow him. Yeah, we're going to have our moments of distrust, our moments of disobedience, but I pray that you would repent and turn from those things. All right, so look at this. Look at that 50% level. Are you convinced yet? Are you convinced? Even if it blows past it, do you see the hesitation that happened once we got there? I mean, look at this. Boom, explosion, explosion, explosion. Explosion, stopped to the tick, almost. And then just kind of became lethargic. This is why I mark 50% of a dealing range. I want my model. Okay. I want my model to be present. What model is here? based on anything that I've taught. If I remember right, you're in the academy, right? What model that I talk about is present? I don't see any. What I do see is higher time frame structure to support my idea of a model going lower. That's enough right there. 42 points from the 50% level. Sure, you could try to put a model around that. I just think you need additional confluences to make that happen. If I'm honest with you, I think I would want one more leg higher. Find support at the previous day low and then move higher. That would bring more structure of what I'd be looking for. Also, we have an inversion here. It's not as high a probability though because we are at 50%. Right there. Right here. See that? Right there. Do you see that wick? With the green candle? I like that. If an inversion follows that wick, okay, this is how I view price. Down leg, higher leg. Down leg into that high, which is also previous day low. If this wick maintains itself, I'm not sure it will or not, and then an inversion follows right here, I will take that long. It may not. It may not do that for us. But why do I like it? Because we're at previous day low. We've retraced into this order block. I mean, if I go to the 3 minute, you'll see the order block. Let's go to the 4 minute. Let's go to the 2 minute. 5 minute. 5 minute looks better. We've retraced into this order block right here. And it could go higher from there. It could. I don't want to take that off the list. I just see the confluences for me potentially to take a short, but it's not giving me what I want to see. There's too many fair value gaps here to take an inversion. If I'm going to take the inversion, it needs to be based on a 3 minute because that's the most obvious fair value gap. So for me to take the inversion down, I'd have to take it here. But I don't like that idea, to be honest with you, because of how large that fair value gap is. It's 60 handles. So I'm just not getting my signatures and price outside of that 50% for me to take a trade. I'm going to be just about done here as well, folks. At least for the live stream. Good morning, Nat. I'm not a huge fan, but it works. I just think it could retrace. Okay, didn't close above it. How active is it? People will ask questions. It's not aggressively active. It's continually growing, and the more people we get in there, the more active it becomes. So to me, I'm looking at the long-term goal of the Discord is to provide a community that is a Christian-based community to help traders grow in their trading and in their own journey. So my desire is for that to grow and flourish into something bigger. In time, it will do that. It is growing now. We have some good interactions in there. All right, so here is the inversion. We took out no fair value gaps. I think I'm going to take a shot, just a small scalp to this high and see if it will give it to us. I'm going for the internal high. I'm not looking for it to break structure to the upside. Stops at break even. All right, target hit. Internal swing high, tagged. Just a small little scalp. I'm not convinced it's going to run this high, but it absolutely could. I'll just take a small scalp. Yes, my goal is to scale my trading size. But I first needed to be able to handle small amounts, especially on my personal account. The tricky thing about prop firms is that if you're not careful on your sizing, it can hurt you very quickly. And I've experienced that many times. Many times. So, and partially I would say is because of my own immaturity in my growth as a trader. I think we need to stay at the level we are at longer than feels comfortable. Longer than you think you should be at. For example, if you feel you're ready, probably give it another 3 months. Because I think this eagerness to want to increase size actually causes us to slow down and to cause us to have to go through the same cycle over and over. And honestly, I'm only speaking from my own personal experience. This isn't theory. When I look back at my trading, I've crippled my progress by increasing my size way too fast. Would it be nice to be able to take larger size with you guys on and you guys to see these big, huge numbers? Yeah, it would be great. It'd be great for my business. It'd be great for proving to others that I can trade. And I've tried to do it, and it has bit me in the butt. Because whether it's wrong motive, allowing money to influencing my decisions, I just think it takes a lot longer than we want it to, and we need to accept that and just embrace the process and journey that we're on. And part of my journey with my personal account has been just that. At the beginning, when I committed to doing my personal account, it was way harder than I expected. I went from wanting to grow it too fast getting frustrated with it and then just not caring at all. And then I'd take trades that just were stupid because I didn't care anymore, and it made my account balance go down, up, down, lower, and I couldn't figure it out. I really couldn't. Until I really put risk management and I turned my desires to actually care about the outcome on my personal account. Because, I mean, we're talking $500. I'm not living on what I'm making on my personal account. No way. You can't do it. But what I can do is build consistent habits and build a history of trading that can support me in the long run, even if prop firms disappear. And that was my biggest motivation on giving my personal account more time, because heck, all I got to do is get 5 take profit trader accounts and do the same thing, and I'm making way more money. So it was very easy for me to just treat my personal account as a YOLO account, so to speak. It's like I didn't care. And I had to change that and be okay with trading 1 micro, 2 micros. And since I've begun to do that, I've been able to 10x that account from $500. Or just about. I'm not there yet. We're sitting at 4771. We just made another $50 on that scalp. I don't even know how long. FF. For specifically for my personal account. Okay, so let me say this. I became profitable on funded accounts before I figured out how to trade my personal account. Because all my weight, all my desire, all my focus was on my funded accounts. It was on prop firm accounts because they were glamorous. It was more attractive. I could make money faster. It was lower risk. So it's not that my strategy changed on my personal account. It was my focus and my internal desire changed. I had a reason for me to give weight to this personal account. And if you don't have that, and you're like, well, I can just trade prop firms, this is pennies anyway. I mean, come on, guys, $100 is $100. It's not it's impressive, but it's not impressive, at least to me. What's impressive is the structure and the trade that was taken. The dollar amount is irrelevant to me. And that's kind of what I've turned my personal account to. The dollar amount's irrelevant. The dollar amount's the byproduct of me being disciplined, me trading only those A+ setups, me waiting and being more patient, and I get more excited. I mean, I love it when I see big numbers. Don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. But I've trained myself to get more excited about the setup that I took. Not that I'm not excited about making money, because, I mean, I am. I get so excited when I see big numbers. It feels amazing. It like adds upon the fact that I took a good setup. But it's this right here that I'm learning on my personal account to become more excited about, is the actual setup itself. Because I'm beginning to have a longer term perspective on my trading, that if I can rinse and repeat this without the stupid losses, the stupid compulsive trades, I can grow my account. So what happened today? On my funded accounts, I took a impulsive trade. Now, just want to say that same trade that I got in early that I wanted to see happen is the trade that I took later on that actually worked out. So, it did work. I just was immature in that moment, took an impulsive trade, wanting it to go higher, anticipating that it was going to close, and it didn't. And I could feel the emotions from the missed opportunity of this. Because I could have gotten, on that funded account, I could have got several $100s on that trade. But I didn't. I missed it, and it affected this trade, this impulsive, premature entry here. So I closed it. It seems like when I close my funded accounts and I open a different account, it's like it's a reset for me. And we got a nice trade. Inside, I was going, man, I wish I had my funded accounts open. I really was. I wish I would have taken the right setup and not taking that impulsive setup, which caused me to close my position altogether. So, going back to the initial question, sizing up. You don't need to size up. You need to become so bored with taking the trades that become so obvious to you that it becomes boring. I'm not there yet with my personal account, by the way, because I've now become more invested into the outcome of my personal account. I can now feel the excitement when I take good setups. So I know that I'm not even ready to do that. So I've come up with a plan. I take 1 to 2 micros on my personal account, and my max daily loss is $120. And that's working well for me right now. So, if I'm going to increase my size, I'm probably not going to increase it till I hit $6,000, which I'm $1,300 away from that. And when I hit 6,000, I'll increase to a third micro, and I'll probably increase my stop loss to $200 or to $250, one or the other. And keep everything else the same. Yeah, Joseph, you gamble it so hard because it's like I did the same thing because I didn't have a light bulb moment, an aha moment where I realized that this is so important for me to master. And it's like once I figured out how important it was for me to do this, I started not treating it as a gamble account as much. Have I had moments where I have? Absolutely. But I will tell you, the max daily loss feature on Tradevate has saved me so many times. So I don't take that off. That max daily loss feature is on there, and it's set, and it's locked. If I lose $120, I'm locked out. $250 is what it is. Anywhere from 3 to 5 contracts normally. Lately, I've been taking 1 to 2. The volatility has been high, and for what I want to reach in my accounts, it's been a lot easier to take 2 micros, 3 micros, and get it until I build more of a buffer. The thing about with these funded accounts, especially with Take Profit Trader, if you take a payout, I don't let my account balances get very high. Hardly ever, because I'm interested in withdrawing right away. So when I do go into drawdown, I go in drawdown, if I've already taken profit, I'm, within that buffer zone, and I need to also be careful. I haven't built up that big buffer account. I usually withdraw my funds. That probably should change. I probably should consider changing that. All right, so see the breaker that we got? I know I'm on here way longer than I said I was going to be. But remember this level here? I said I wanted to see my breaker. All right, so there's my breaker. Now I'm interested in potentially an inversion to the downside, a retracement into this level here, and then a continuation lower. It doesn't have to hit this low for me to take it. I can get 50 handles by it going to there. That's 60 points right there. We also might just sweep this liquidity right here like we just did, and then it start moving higher. We'll see. This usually is a great place to take a long. I'm not going to lie. But the bias for me is to the downside right now. So trades by Ralph, the answer to you is not necessarily how much you can make. It's how can you protect. What's the best way to bring capital preservation? You need to think protect my account first, profit second. Okay? So if I'm thinking protect my account first, I'm thinking max daily loss of $250, and anywhere from $100 to $250 would be my target right now. Be consistent in that. And then what you do is not increase your size, but you go for bigger trades. Take a partial, hold longer. That's what I tried to do. Where was it? Right here. I tried to do that right here, but got stopped out with my second contract. It took half of my profits away. That's just the cost of trying to increase your trade size. Increase the size of the trade you took, not your contract size. I got a feeling we're just going to wick right here and we're going to go higher. I honestly don't know why I'm still sitting here. We also, that is previous day low support. If I had to guess, I think we're going to do something like this. Uh-oh. Am I live streaming something I don't want to be live streaming? I think so. I'm going to get in trouble. I hope I don't get in trouble for it. I've been playing that for 13 minutes. Yeah, that's a big conversation. Income to freedom. It's different for each of my accounts. You can go back and listen to it. No, not on my screen. It was the music. I'm gonna get in trouble for the music that was playing. Yeah, the piano music. Here's also a smaller breaker to the downside right here. It doesn't look terrible. We never hit this hourly, though. Let's go up to the hourly and look here. I honestly don't want it to hit yet. I think this could hit after this candle closes in 26 minutes. Then the next candle open, wicks up, and then goes down. There's the breaker. I haven't listened to it. What did he say? I'll have to listen to it. ICT's posted on X yesterday regarding financial model versus trading model. I'll have to check it out. I think, guys, I'm going to call it a day here. I probably should be done. If anything, I'll look at probably a trade either around 1 p.m. New York Standard Time or 3 p.m. New York Standard Time. Those are probably the time frames that I'm going to be looking for a setup. If we make a low for the 3 p.m. reversal, I'll look at taking the 3 p.m. reversal. If we make lower lows back to the upside, this is a type of day that would work really well for the 3 p.m. reversal. So we're going to call it here, folks. We'll be back here tomorrow. If you appreciate the live stream, consider giving a like, hit the subscribe button. Use the code DTJ on any Apex, Tradeify, Take Profit Trader, My Funded Futures, whatever prop firm you like. DTJ will give you that discount for you guys. So thanks for hanging out with me today. God bless you guys. Ryan, he basically pointed out the handles you were trying to achieve per day, per week, from a financial standpoint, shouldn't limit your trading model and what you are trying to achieve in total handles. I see. So basically, he's playing the charts instead of playing financial goals. Do I have that right? Yeah. I think that's the approach you need to have when you first start out. If you are making if you're looking for a dollar amount, that's when you're going to get hurt. I started seeing more growth. It wasn't the one thing, but it was a accumulation of multiple things, but this was one of them. Is I finally said to myself, that I can't continue trading for profit. I have to change to be at for education. And so for those that have been here long enough, I say it all the time. What's your educational goal for today? What are you going to work on today when you take your trade or before you take your trade? How are you improving your trading? So let's just say you want to hold for your full target. Well, then you hold for your full target because you premeditated, made the decision that this is what I want to do. And so now you're growing as a trader compared to getting out because you hit $60. That's why I was completely okay when I got stopped out for my trade right here. When I got my second contract got stopped out at break even, I wasn't killing myself over it because I already have told myself many times that I'm going to take partials and then I'm going to see if it runs to a higher level that I have interest in. It did. I just got stopped out before it hit it. So now I'm looking at it going, how can I improve my trading even more with that mindset of taking profit and holding a runner? In this scenario, there's not much I could have done except for wait for the candle to close before I take profit or before I close the position. All right, we're going to call it a day. You guys be blessed. Thanks for hanging out with me. We'll see you all tomorrow, all right? Take care.